If you were looking to watch some INnoVation tonight, you came on time because we got INnoVation versus Dark. And this guy, he's on top of the world right now. He's certainly on top of SSL.
He absolutely is. Not only winning last season outright, just nothing could really touch this man. He has been absolutely killing it. And by it, I mean every nerd in his path, including possibly this guy. This is Dark, at one time the best Zerg in the world, and in fact an SSL champion. However, after his kind of arrogance, I think is what a lot of fans call it, got a little bit ahead of him, he started to kind of fall off. And while he does maintain a very impressive and in fact slight lead over INnoVation in the head-to-head, the times have come and gone.
Yeah, they definitely have. We're living in a different time. This is 2017, Season 2 of SSL Premier, and INnoVation is the final boss of final bosses. So if Dark comes in here and even wins one game, that's going to be impressive. This is like, people are just getting 2-0'd one after another, and to be fair, he did have to go up against Alive in rounds in his second matchup,
right.
But he did 2-0 Hero as well, which is no easy feat.
That's right, INnoVation max money, making it
max
here.
money.
Yeah, that's his alter ego.
Bling bling.
Yeah, whenever he appears with just a curl in the middle of his forehead, that's max money. But when he sweeps his hair to the side, nobody can tell who he is anymore. He becomes INnoVation.
INnoVation.
The superhero that also wears Harry Potter glasses. And I'm not sure if those actually have lenses in them either. Those might be lensless glasses. I don't want to call him out just yet.
You got to ask him first.
No, I'm not putting him on blast just yet. But I mean, this is Dark, and Dark actually has an almost as good win rate as INnoVation. He's just lost a couple of games in there.
Yeah, he's close.
That's
close
what I'm
to
trying
the
to say.
god.
I'm trying to make it sound like it's close. In fact, he has, two losses instead of 2 wins where INnoVation has it. So small sample size. Law of large number doesn't apply. So we're about to get into our first game in this series, guys. So get out there, tell your friends INnoVation's playing, and it's going to be a TVZ for the ages as Dark attempts to upset this very difficult matchup. INnoVation on a roll. See if Dark will roll it over.
That really is the question here as we're loading into Newkirk Precinct for game number 1. INnoVation versus Dark. Fly, better fly. Jin Air. Now the whole crowd's doing it. Everybody's getting on the same page.
It's party in here. Our Blue Terran player, he is INnoVation.
And his opponent, the challenger, the next one up to give it a shot against INnoVation. It is Dark. A boss in his own right at one time.
Yep, INnoVation is like the Teflon wall that we throw our Jello nerds against. There's nothing sticks.
Ah, I see.
Yep. You throw Infinity Jello nerds against him, which, by the way, is just a fantastic thought to have in my mind right now.
Jello nerds?
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if they also made like little high-pitched Jello nerd voices. And INnoVation's just like this big, deep one. Yeah. There's INnoVation. And then he falls down on the bottom and like splits into little tinier nerds, and none of them can do anything. Yeah.
But then it's like 10 even smaller little nerds.
Yeah, there was a
come out of that one big nerd. The one small big nerd.
Yeah, it's like
Jello
those.
nerd.
It's like those slimes that you fight in the fantasy games, where you kill them, they split into smaller slimes, and you have to kill those too. Ugh, so annoying.
Who invented those anyway? Who thought that would be a good idea?
Probably the same guy that made like Mario and Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy all at the same time. He exists. Everybody else just stole his ideas. That's my conspiracy theory. All right, so no Mass Reapers out of INnoVation. I don't think he's really ever favored that style. Yeah. It's like, I like to win the right way. Don't get me started on that one, but he is making a command center instead of 2 more barracks, which just feels a little bit cleaner. Every time I watch Beyond, I just have to go take a cold shower afterwards.
It is greener. There's less production facilities.
That is true.
Polluting our great nation.
Yeah, nobody talks about the global warming in space, Valdez. I really feel like, with it being the final frontier, we should really try to care for and curate its, delicate atmosphere, or lack thereof.
Did we ever even think about Newkirk Precinct?
No. Who are we as small-minded Earthlings?
Unbelievable.
I can't even believe it. Where is Space Bob Dole to tell us about these things? Wait, no, he was the guy that invented the internet. Who was the guy that invented global warming? Vice President?
Al Gore?
Al Gore, yeah, that guy. Oh, wait, he made the internet too. I can't even keep up with American politics right now. So let's actually just talk about the game instead of that one thing that was a little bit too overstated. All right, so he just has to kill it faster, so he mines it to death. It's like when you really just want to kill one Zergling, throws down the mine, takes it out, but at least Dark will get a chance to see the front door and know that it's not a ton of Reapers coming his way.
Gets a full scout, sees the starport, and knows everything. Still is going to get Overlord speed, and that is really what Dark is all about. He gets Overlord speed in basically every game that he plays against not Zerg. So against Protoss, against Terran, he will get in there and he will see what you're doing. And again, this map is pretty cool for drops too, so if he wants to go for some Ling drops a little bit later, he can do that from the rock base next to INnoVation's main. But we'll see what he wants to follow up with. He will at least have 100% knowledge of what INnoVation is doing to start.
All right, now, it would be interesting to see the armory come up because that would mean that it was pretty much the same. All right.
There you go.
Love it. Armory right on schedule. So this is actually going to be the same style of build that we saw, I think it was Alive try earlier. Was it Maru? I think it was
Maru.
Yeah, okay. Maru also went in with this, I think it was game 2, then tried it in game 3. But Maru was also switching way back and forth all over everything. So curious to see the direction for INnoVation, which is currently a U-turn with those Hellions.
Okay, comes in here, gets a full scout once again. I don't think he's seen the armory, though. He might assume. I think he's looking for it right now, and he will get the spot just now.
All right, but those Hellions are in position, pooling them up, and there's a Banshee along for the ride. Cloak about to hit at the same time. A Liberator in production. I'm just reading the production tab, but here come the Hellions.
There's only 4 queens and 4 lings. He's relying on the 6 roaches that come out right here to deal with this, but there's no detection right now. There's no spore.
Oh my god.
There's 2 spores on the map, okay? But I don't think there's any at the 3rd base.
And it's not like the Banshee itself will kill Dark, but what it's going to do is just soften up this force at the front, which needs to deal with all these Hellbats.
That hatchery is already getting really low. The roaches do come out, but they're dealing with this Cloak Banshee. The queens are coming in here, but there's still no detection. There's an Overseer on the way, but the lair wasn't on time. Looks like the hatchery shouldn't go down.
No,
Dark should clean this up.
It might actually just now go down. We actually need to see the hatchery. Okay, no, it is at high enough health, and I think one of those queens still had a transfuse. So
yeah, I had it spoiled. I'll be honest. I was clicking on the hatchery in my observer PC, so I knew things were okay.
All right, well, for those of us that didn't have it spoiled, it was a little bit tense there. I was almost about to hyperventilate, either because it was exciting or because Wolf's shirt is a little bit too small for me, so deep breaths are something I'm not really capable of doing right now. So we're sticking with it, and here come those drops that you were talking about, but instead of Zerglings, it's queens, baked right in.
This is going to be really cool. 11 roaches, he's sticking on 36 drones. This is a very aggressive attack, something that is mainly only doable on a map like this. And the Liberator, he sieges underneath that. Oh boy, Dark off to a good start in this game.
Well, Dark's we're in here, guys. All right, back at it again. Yeah, kind of bonus mode there for Dark. He takes out the Liberator, so he's not going to be taking any damage back at home behind this. He's just pumping out nothing but aggressive units from his hatcheries, waiting to see where he needs to drop these queens. He's elevating them up on the high ground, trying to save them, picks them up, drops them out. So much damage being done. INnoVation hemorrhaging SCVs. He might not be able to hold on.
Dark, he holds off the attack, and this is about the smartest thing you could have done in this situation. What a build, what a play here by Dark. Looks like he's going to take game number 1 against our king of SSL, and he makes it look easy, too.
Gods can bleed, Valdez, and Dark throws the spear at INnoVation Xerxes. That's his last name. And we'll be able to just bust way up the ramp. Now, there's still this Banshee, and Cyclones are good units, but dropping these Queens way out here, sending the SCVs in. He's pulling the boys, but there just aren't many boys to pull. A sentence I never thought I'd have to say. GG! Another thing I never thought I'd have to say against INnoVation, but Dark takes him out in game number 1.
He's just trying to cut down on his money, right? Dark, if he can take out INnoVation, something that a lot of people are having trouble with, that would be huge for his score here in SSL. He's already 1-1.
Look at the INnoVation face. He just pulls the, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So time to go back to the drawing board there for INnoVation. Not so easy going up against Dark.
And again, we're going into Abyssal Reef for game number 2. So I feel like that's definitely a build that you can mainly only do on Nuclear Precinct.
Right.
Game number 3 is going to be on Odyssey 2, another map where that's going to be hard to do. So this is INnoVation's chance to sit back and say, okay, that sucked. He got me with the counterattack. My aggression didn't work. He shut me down. I couldn't take out the hatchery. Honestly, even if he took out the hatchery, I think Dark still would have won, because INnoVation would have had to even overcommit to the hatchery, and Dark had just too many units on the way. So good build there, good read as well. He saw everything too. He saw the factories coming up and he said, hey, I can kill this guy.
Yep, if we were casting in Spanish, we'd call that bueno. Let's go ahead and get into our second game of the series, INnoVation versus Dark.
Game number 2 on Abyssal Reef. And down here in the bottom right, the blue Terran, it is INnoVation suffering his first loss of SSL Premier 2.
Yeah, and what a loss it was. Dark really just slamming the hammer after defending against that early attack. Yeah, that is Dark. Park Young-woo. You want to learn a player name? That's your name of the day to learn. If you just pick one player name, you learn it every day, then you can prove to all of your fan girl or boy friends that you are, in fact, the biggest hashtag big fan. Mm-hmm. You ever seen those fans that have the fan battles? It's like, no, I'm the bigger fan. No, I'm the bigger fan. It happens a lot in K-pop, but also in StarCraft. You see, like the masses, like the 25 fangirls that all bring their impossibly comically large cameras to take pictures. I remember, like the first week I was here in Korea casting, I saw like 2 fangirls both trying to take a picture of the same player, and they were like using their cameras like jousting lances to try to like push the other one aside to take a picture. I'm like, calm down, guys. He'll be there. You can take turns. I don't know, but that's kind of what it was like.
No turns, Rapid.
No.
They gotta get the better pictures faster so they can upload them faster and get more followers to prove that they are the biggest fan.
That's when you find out.
Don't you get how this works?
They're not digital cameras. They actually just take like Polaroids. It's like, well, that's an awful lot of effort to go for a Polaroid.
Look at what Dark is doing here. He went for pool first, and he got speed, but only enough gas to go for speed. So he's getting really aggressive here with the big Ling timing, trying to shut down the CC that's coming down.
They're already heading across the map, and Terran players don't have supply depots that float slowly across to scout things like this out. So, unfortunately, INnoVation won't see this for a while, and he's not going for anything early or aggressive like a Mass Reaper build, which might be able to micro against this to hold it off. No, he's playing standard, and Dark is punishing him.
Dark is really throwing in the tricky builds against INnoVation. It's hard to win a best of 7 against a player. A little bit less hard to win a best of 5. Best of 3, it's a little bit easier. You take one win and then you follow up with a build like this. We could see Dark take a 2-0 if INnoVation does not handle this correctly. So I like the build choice. We'll see if this works out.
Reaper running back, and he did at least get the one scouting Reaper, but this is the only one he'll have. And as soon as speed finishes, well, like then, and all these Zerglings run in, instantly INnoVation realizing he is maybe in a little bit of trouble.
Insta-cancel. He is not messing with that. The second he saw a couple too many Zerglings, he's like, okay, I know exactly what this is. So.
Yep, and he does rebuild the command center up on the high ground. Now, I don't think that Dark is going to try to bust the front here on this one. It might just be enough. Oh man, you gotta be careful. I thought that was the barracks there for a second. I was like, oh, you don't want to go up there. So yeah, there's no way that Dark can bust here. No! Oh my god. Okay, all right, I'm good. I was a little bit worried there for a second, guys. So he's not going to be able to break through the front there. Glad that what I said was vaguely correct there for a second. And so Dark has put all this effort into going aggressive, and now he has to decide, well, do you double down and go for like drops or banelings or something like that to bust through? No. Instead, he's going to be macroing up behind it.
Yeah, I was surprised that well, actually, I think he only went up to 12 lings, but he wasn't mining any more gas. So that just tells you that he wasn't going for a baneling nest. He wasn't trying to go super all in. He just wanted to cancel the CC, delay it, and that he did. That does mean that his own hatchery is delayed, his own third is delayed, and this is an interesting Viking because he denies the scout, and we could see INnoVation try to do something tricky where he goes into cloak or something like that once again, but it seems like he's just going to go for a Raven.
Yep, the return of the Polt Viking, it lives on in our memories, and it is out there and taking out the scouting. So, like you said, Valdez, it could be something super strange or wacky, but I don't feel like those are two words we often associate with INnoVation, which is why it just became so strange last week when we saw him just outright down and dirty cheese out alive. So this time around, it should just be pretty standard. A third, I was about to call it a metal hatchery, but no, it's back to command center.
Metal hatchery?
I don't know. It just happens.
Zerk has entered the Iron Age.
Get teched up, man. The true alpha RTS is one that combines Age of Empires and StarCraft 2. You have 4 resources, but only 3 races.
That would be ridiculous.
Oh my god.
We need like the 12 different races that they had in the Age of Empires. I think there might have actually been.
Oh no, there were way more than that. Then you add in like
15,
Age
18.
of Mythology races. Gets good. Well, here comes that Raven with the new and maybe not possibly improved. He's going to tank it up with the Spore Crawler. All right. Spore Crawler living up to his name. Crawling over there. And not very effective. A couple drones going down there for the Raven. But at least now it's in position to fend it off the next time.
7 creep tumors at a time. 8 it
Oh
went
my
up to.
God.
As he really wants to flood the map with creep. Abyssal Reef, if you just go ahead and take a look, there are so many different avenues that you do have to cover with creep, so it is very important that you get the early queens to make sure that you spread that creep. He has 5 already, so definitely a good start for Dark. He is known for being pretty good with this creep.
One well-positioned Spore Crawler gets 2 shots off on a Raven, so I don't know if that's necessarily successful, but it does drop a little bit of mining time there. INnoVation trying to push out and take his 3rd base now, and he should be able to do that, but I'm really kind of wondering when exactly Dark is going to drop the hammer. We saw an immediate reaction in game number 1, knowing that as soon as he had taken out the smallest little part of INnoVation's forces, it was time to go and end the game, and end it he did. Now, in this game, it appears as if INnoVation is once again playing this very standard style. The drops are the only sort of wild card to find out how effective they're going to be.
We'll see how well they do. He did add in 1 tank. Just 1. Okay, we got a second one on the way, so might be slowly building those up for an eventual attack at the same time. There's lots of cliffs, lots of abysses to make use of on this map, and this is where this attack is going to come in. Focuses that down. Nice cancel there by Dark. Make sure he does keep that drone. Doesn't lose all those minerals.
The insta-rebuild in your face. Keeping it alive and well. Macro Hatch coming down at the same time, so lots of resources invested into his production, into his economy, but maybe not so much into his army. Only 30 army supply there. The Viking finally finds the pod of overlords.
He's been searching his whole life. He finally found him.
The mother lode of overlords. Never seen anything so beautiful.
He's only going to get 1, though, which is unfortunate.
But it's still, what a sight to behold. Imagine, that's like the the scout that just runs out there, and all of a sudden you see this like magical flock of flying gaseous Zerg units. Imagine the first Viking to ever see those. To report back to base. My God.
What is that? It's so gross. Ooh, running by.
Oh, no. Now, thankfully, Mr. Tank has Mr. Marines there to buffer and kill off the Zerglings that were running through. This doesn't punish INnoVation for not having the tightest of walls, but this Hellbat drop not actually going to be all that effective either. He's not even going to kill a Queen with that. And on the other side, that allows Dark to just push these medevacs back without really losing anything. So, great defense here. Dark really seems airtight against INnoVation, and now he's going up to 5 bases with a macro hatch.
No hype just yet, even though he has that infestation pit. As I say that, he puts it down. But there was a bit of a delay as he was dealing with INnoVation's pressure. INnoVation on the other side of the map, he's totally fine to just macro up.
Yeah.
He is a fantastic macro Terran. He's totally cool to go into that super late game. No 4th base just yet. There's no CC on the way. It seems like he wants to hit a pretty strong attack on 3 bases first.
I mean, INnoVation seems like he's kind of not like falling asleep at the wheel just yet, but he has let this Zerg infestation get a little bit out of control, and so he will push out to try to do something against it. Lots of siege tanks behind a very strong bio army, and +1/+1 about to complete as well.
He's done this before, where he hits before Hive Tech really comes in, but Dark, he's looking to distract him with another run by here at the 3rd base. Is there anything? Looks like there is some units in position, but not microing them. Baneling's getting a pretty good hit. Will it be enough in the end? It looks like it, but the real story here is this push. You hit before ultras are out, before any Hive Tech is out, and this time Dark even skipped the Infestor, so he's only on Link Bane against this entire Terran army.
Now, he is going to have +2 armor to come in and try to deal with that, but that's not really going to help out against these siege tanks very much. It's still going to be very difficult to deal with, but instead going for a counterattack here, is this truly the way? Looks like instead he's going to come and try to wrap around behind these siege tanks to take them out.
Well, he's going to group up, indeed, not coming behind just yet. INnoVation trying to bait him into that tank line on the low ground, and he's doing a pretty good job of that.
Ooh,
taking it slow.
Yeah, Marines surviving though. I would love to see the counterattack from Dark come in behind and try to take out all those siege tanks, but instead, I think Dark is just going to sack the hatchery.
He's going to sack the hatchery. He wants to make sure he can get some ultras out. Doesn't have too big of a bank, but I think as you're saying, he's just trying to buy time. Let the hatchery go down, let him take another base, and finally get those ultras out because he's not confident to take the fight until he gets it.
A big wraparound here. 1 medevac, but that won't be able to pick everything up, and Dark runs in here. That would maybe do a thing. All right,
that would be the death of all of his lings.
Indeed,
as there was a pretty big tank line back there. Finally, this hatchery will die.
The cheeky double auto turret to take it out finally. Hatchery falls, and INnoVation's push is marginally successful. However, the hatchery is remade on the opposite side of the map, and that's going to be very difficult to deal with. Now, these are all unsieged tanks and a bunch of bio there caught without medevac support. Finally, they'll run over, but the Zerglings are all on top of INnoVation's army.
And the Lings, they don't kill a single tank. They kill some of the bio, but there's no adrenal glands yet. That's not going to do anything. They're only Lings, so just kind of throwing those units away. Maybe it was to bring up some supply for more ultras, but either way, here we go. Still just Ling Bane, and he's going up against pretty heavily upgraded, scary Marine Marauder tank.
3-3 about halfway until completion, but now is the big spike for Dark. He's getting chitinous plating, adrenal glands, 4 to 5 ultras about to pop, and this is going to be a big power spike for Dark. There's nothing really out that deals with ultras. No ghosts, no liberators, nothing along those lines, and so these will be very strong moo cows.
Oh, you are exactly correct. There's going to be 7 ultras in total if he waits for all of them. There's just 5 now, 2 more on the way. Scans are coming down. He sees all the ultras. He still wants to take the attack, and here we go.
Oh, this might be a little bit too much. Ultras running up all on these tanks. The tank's actually forming a wall for the bio to fall back behind it, but there's just too much. The ultras are too strong, and INnoVation will be completely pushed back.
Totally wiping that force off the field, and a good hold there by Dark. He delayed enough time. He held on. And that was really what was important. Now we got a Spire on the way.
Oh,
and
man.
Dark is getting all these hatcheries back up. He's in a really fantastic spot now.
Hear that, Valdez? It's the sound of a 1,000 liquid bets crying out that are suddenly silenced. This could be our 0-2 performance from INnoVation. He's had 2 almost flawless weeks. Well, flawless in the score department, and this week, Dark just really seems to have his number. Ultras coming out at the perfect time, wisely sacking that 5th base and rebuilding it elsewhere. Now he's retaken it for a 6th base plus those macro hatches. Dark is just firing on all cylinders. The Zerg machine, the Swarm, is coming out.
Keep in mind that the game isn't quite over. It's looking good for Dark, but INnoVation is transitioning. He's getting these Liberators out. He just hit 3-3. He's in a good spot with his upgrades. He's up a couple of them on Dark at this position. And look at what he's going to do here. He's going to try to kite. Dark had basically no bank after building all those Ultras, so he couldn't rebuild any Banelings. So he's only got Ling, Ultra, and Queen. So he's going to try to win the fight right here. Let's see if he can do it.
Well, I think he might just have too much. There's nothing to stop these Ultras just yet. You were talking about the Liberators, but even now they're just now sieging up. Every tank here will fall. There's no Liberators there to save them. Queen's there for support, so he's going to have transfuse after transfuse for these basically immortal Ultras.
Oh, look at those Ultras, though, struggling to get away. They're really big and clunky, and the creep wasn't quite out there. He's got to kite back, though, to his Liberators. There's nothing here to tank for the Ultras, as weird as that sounds. He needs Lings. He needs other stuff. But at the same time, he's not dealt with this one drop at the 3rd.
Okay, yeah, you definitely got to cross your T's and dot your I's, and also your J's there as well. Before you deal with INnoVation. I feel like a lot of times INnoVation will win games even when he's desperately far behind, just because other players are just the least little bit sloppy against him. Okay, that's not the way you kill medevacs, but it's going to push it back a little bit for now. So INnoVation will push up and take out that 6th base. Now, Dark is still in a great spot right now. Unfortunately, he does have to deal with a very diverse, very high-tech Terran army pushing out with superior upgrades, and I don't think 3-3 is finished for Dark, has it?
Yeah, it's not quite ready, and I would argue that he's really not in a great spot because there's nothing to really deal with Liberators. He has no bank, no gas to make any Corruptors. There's going to be 5 in total at the end of it all. But still, I mean, INnoVation's maxed out with all of this stuff, and there was no bank to make any more Banelings. There's 7 on the map. There's only 6 Queens. They used a lot of their energy in that fight before, and look at the setup that INnoVation has here now.
Looks like we might just go for it, trying to yank things in, but the Ultras are a little bit too big, and they wind up taking a couple of unnecessary shots, trying to run forward, but look at the Liberators. They're not being dealt with quickly enough, and it looks like Dark has to pull back.
That is a sight to behold. That is just, I want someone to take a picture of that and put that on Reddit, because that's just unbelievable. The spread of the Liberators was perfect. And Dark, he tried to fight into it, but the setup was too good. He had to save that base, but he just could not. And I think INnoVation is going to force a Game 3.
I think he just might, Valdez. Not going down without a fight. Looked dire there for a little bit, but INnoVation just holds on long enough. He takes out every single Ultralisk, and just look at the bank there. It's not even being able to be used. Finally, Zerglings come out, but even that won't be enough. INnoVation's Terran push does it. He'll take out Dark in Game 2.
What a nice game there on Abyssal Reef. We get that big macro game we wanted to see. And INnoVation finally does it in the end. There was a very scary moment where his entire army basically died to all the Ultras, and we thought that Dark could just move across the map and kill him. But again, Abyssal Reef, it's really hard to do.
Oh, Valdez, what a series. Both just titans of their races slamming head-to-head. And, you know, for Dark, it kind of feels strange to say that about him. But after a very immaculately played game number 1, and even just, I mean, he did everything right there in game number 2. He was like defending INnoVation's pushes. He was sacrificing hatcheries when he needed to. He had exactly what he needed when he needed it, with that chitinous finishing for the Ultras popping out, and just crushed INnoVation's forces. But I mean, how dare I, doubt our Lord and Savior, the Terran God INnoVation. He is just, he does know exactly what he needs, and he's able to come back with a follow-up push and take game 2.
INnoVation's so cheeky in the chat after that game. He's like, oh man, Ultras are pretty OP. Like, what the hell? Either way, INnoVation, it seems like you can deal with it. Let's see if he can do it again, jumping into Odyssey for game 3. go, jumping into Odyssey for Game 3. And I am excited for this one. Down on the bottom right, the blue Terran, it's INnoVation.
And his opponent winning game 1, but dropping game number 2. It's our purple Zerg player, Dark. Wow. We have quite the series on our hands here, Valdez. And it's not even the last series of the day. We still got to wait for Deer versus Classic to end things out, man. Especially after our last series, Bjorn versus Maru, just so good. It's been a good day for ZVT tonight. No, well, very few, let me put it that way, few Reaper shenanigans, and just straight up, just Titans slamming into each other over and over again for our amusement. Here we are in the digital, what do you call it, Coliseum of our time.
Basically, that's
watching entire races, civilizations, genocide for our enjoyment.
Nice. That's what I like to see. I'd be very curious to go back and look at the replay of right after Dark won that fight with his Ultras, because all of a sudden all of his gas just disappeared. Now, I know the Ultras are really expensive, but he had like 5 bases that he kept alive, and then he was taking a 6th. Maybe it was because he made even more Ultras, and then he got all of the other upgrades right after, to the point where he had no answer for INnoVation's follow-up tech, which was the Liberators, and then his counterattack also did nothing, and he lost a bunch of his Ultras that he had to expensively make once again. So
the overextension off creep there at the end kind of seemed what did it for me, because while Dark is moving forward, losing Ultralisks, he's also not back in base building like the corruptors that he needed to deal with all the Liberators and the Medevacs and push those back too. So different decisions, different things happen, but this is where we are. As the poet once said, wherever you go, there you are. Those are your wise words for today.
Deep, Rapid. I could have never thought about it before hearing that.
Yeah, this is how you can tell I spent.
Does that mean because we came here to the next on Arena, that's where we are?
Oh my God, I think you might be onto something, Valdez.
Amazing.
Tumblr logic prevails again.
Unbelievable.
Checkmate. All right, we figured it out. We've ascended to the highest form of humanity, and now here we are watching it dominate and be dominated by the Swarm. So here we go, swapping things up. Very, very similar style here by INnoVation. He has built his low ground command center, and the key is going for that high ground. Wait, which one is being built right there? No, it's the low ground one. All right, got to keep an eye on how many he's going for, because he did go for that very early command center, and I think it was game 1?
Yeah, game 1, I think.
I'm a little bit doubtful now. Games disappear from our brains as soon as they finish, guys. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, it's like Snapchat, basically. you send us a game, and then it just disappears. It's very private.
I don't know. Sometimes
there's no way to record these games.
Sometimes I want to keep my games private after I lose them on ladder. Valdez. I wish that game would just disappear 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
All right, so a cheeky little push, but Queen's there to defend for INnoVation, so he'll need to add to it if it wants to be more effective, but I think he'll just roll around to the third base and see if that's there, and indeed that's exactly what he's doing. It's like I can look at my mini-map every once in a while to find out.
Not everybody does that, so you're ahead of all those bronzies
that's
out there.
That's your lesson for today, guys. Mini-map's pretty cool.
I wonder if he's going to commit to actual Banshees this time.
Literal Banshees in production.
He's continuing to get that cloak. Will he cancel?
So he pushes the Overlord out. Yeah, a lot of times Zergs do cancel and then go into like maybe mass bio after. I don't know, just a suggestion. But instead, he'll push it out, commit, and does have a larger Hellion force out across the map. Now,
no armory this time. Instead of the armory, he's getting this third CC a lot faster, so he's not committing to any kind of big play to cancel a third or anything crazy like that.
And the Hellions will run themselves around in circles, just kind of stressing out those queens. Stressful job for a queen, man. You can actually see literally their energy running as low as possible every time they make a creep tumor, inject, push away Hellions, run around the map just for fun. I don't know, it's a stressful life. But in the backside of that, we do have Spore Colonies coming up, so Dark will be at least marginally prepared for the Banshee force that could be coming out. We all know what it looks like when Zerg players don't have any detection. They have to deal with cloaked banshees, so not going to see that mistake this time around. No overseers. Okay, what? Hide me.
There's no overseers except that one. Uh-oh,
okay, well,
INnoVation.
that's bad. Wow. So many Hellions that just aren't. See, this is the counter to that Tumblr theology, where they went, now they aren't anymore.
Yeah, they don't exist quite in the same form. Now they exist in vehicle parts
Rubble.
and dust and rubble, so they move from one form to another rapid. That's like the next level of thinking.
Oh my god.
You were talking about your alpha
It's like
brain.
the water cycle, but for Hellions.
Yeah.
And it only has 2 forms, alive and dead. Wow, I'm so next level on this.
No, but then that dust goes into the earth, and I don't have to spell it out for you,
Circle
Rapid.
of Hellions.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going mech. We got 3 factories, I think. Yeah, 3 factories on the map here. He's getting those vehicle weapons.
But it's okay. I was about to call it the battle mech because it's missing a couple of things. One of the things that was missing was Thors. It's also missing Cyclones. So this is a little bit better. And now guys like Gumiho first put the Thors in there because a lot of times what you would do against this mech style is go swarm hosts. And if you build swarm hosts, all you need to deal with them is a very mobile unit like a Thor and a dropship. And then what you do is you run up to the swarm host, drop the Thor, and then they're forced to either burrow and not kill your giant mech army, or you can just harass them and kill them and force them to be protected by the rest of the swarm. So great way of dealing with that. We'll see if that's how INnoVation decides to use them.
Yeah, gonna start with these Thors. Let's see what he makes as the follow-up. He's gonna make 2 more tanks, as he does already have 2 on the map. 2 more factories, so this is full-blown super mega mech. And
Mega mech.
Yeah.
This is like the Megazord.
Mecha.
Indeed. There we go, out with those Thors and dropships. I feel like Terran players, after they could no longer pick up sieged tanks, were just like, all right, guys, what do we put
What's
in our
the next best
dropships?
thing?
For guys like INnoVation and Gumiho, it was Thors. For guys like Byun, it was just unsieged tanks that you then micro to infinity and beyond. So we'll see what
Or
INnoVation...
Reapers.
Oh yeah, you can also put those in there too. Silly me. Okay, so pushing forward, the Thors to defend here probably won't stick around for very long, just kind of sacking those Hellbats and letting them be the scouting squad that tells INnoVation. That's not where he needs to be, but the bigger thing I feel like to focus on this game, not INnoVation, but Dark's creep spread looks insane.
It's pretty gross. Too much,
just in general,
too much
yes.
purple. But yeah, seriously, it's covering every single avenue. He's going to see INnoVation coming a mile away.
And if you cross your eyes and turn your head, it turns into a scattergram of Barney.
What?
You ever seen those comics in like
A
newspapers?
scattergram of Barney? What does that even mean?
It's big and purple, and it's got a bunch of dots in weird places.
Oh, I see.
Ah,
I
yeah.
got it. Yeah.
You just have to cross your eyes first.
Yeah.
That's what happens. All right, Blue Flame completed here for the Hellions. They'll run by into the drone line, lining them up. Will the hits come through? No. No, they won't. The Hellions
not
stop.
really. Just 4 drones, and he can continue making those Hellions pretty effortlessly. So picking at the economy is always going to be good. He's getting to work on that hive now.
Imagine if they had those like 300mm strike cannons that they used to. You just get a bunch of Thors and dropships, use all the abilities, snipe a hatchery. I think it took, 6 Thors? You could kill a hatchery in one volley of all of them. Good time.
Back in the day.
Back when you could feedback Thors. And they were actually just a terrible unit.
Yeah.
They actually used to have, I think, a larger model as well.
Yeah, they did. They were bigger.
You go back and watch like Wings of Liberty Thors. Those things are actually gigantic. You got like the special edition of Wings of Liberty. You got like super ultra mega gigantic Thors. Good time.
Definitely check that out. It's from the past, but definitely a cool thing to check out if you haven't seen it just yet. And we are going super late game, guys. We got an Ultralisk Den on the way, a Greater Spire on the way, and nothing but mech out of INnoVation as expected. And Odyssey is one of these maps where if it gets to this position, the Zerg is just going to sit back, take that gold base as soon as possible, try to make as many units as early as possible, get all the tech in the world, and then the Terran will do the same thing. So that's where we're at here.
all the tech in the world. We had a little bit of tech in earlier today. Now we're getting our tech in here. And INnoVation just going up into that big macro mode. See if multiplicitous upgrades and lots of mech will be the recipe for success here. These micro individual Hellions against...
The Baneling that could.
That just goes to show, guys, it's like, what is it, the myth of Sisyphus? When he has to push the rock up the hill every day.
Ah, yes.
If you're a Baneling, you just got to keep rolling. Keep on rolling. Lots of life lessons to be learned here today. Like, don't be those Hellions. Two live to tell the tale.
They'll get the purple heart.
Reminds me of the scene from the recent episode of Game of Thrones that aired earlier.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I actually was fooled for just a second. I was like, what the hell?
Got the 6 spoilers here.
You had that meme prepared since earlier today. I know it. I know it.
All right, well, this is going to be a dead command center, a little bit optimistic. Look at that stutter step. Dark on point. Takes out that CC, but now he has to worry about the MECH that's coming his way. See if INnoVation can make it happen with spaces between his capital letters.
I'm still thinking about what you said earlier.
It was dangerous.
That was perfectly done. You almost had someone jump at you from the crowd. That's how well it was. Not really, but...
Ooh, the world played in slow motion there for but a second.
We got this big mech force moving across the map. Those Hydras, they're not even going to fight unless they come from behind.
Well, check the upgrades there on that mech. I think it might actually be just
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1, so not fully upgraded, but this is still so many tanks. Do we have the Vipers out? No, it looks like it's a counterattack. See if we can take down this Planetary. It looks like the SCVs will evacuate. This might actually be a pseudo base trade. Look at those Banelings rolling up. Actually,
yeah, I like that move by INnoVation to save all the SCVs. He could have tried to repair, which is like the instinctive move, if you will.
But anyway,
here we go.
The Bulldog Ultra is just running straight into this Terran mech. Lots of blinding clouds, so it allows them to be somewhat effective, but the Terran ball survives.
Observer trying to figure out how to zoom out.
I think the Hydras are just going to have to run right into this. Dark might just lose everything.
Oh boy. This mech, this tank ball is still alive. Let's see how many tanks are over here. Looks like 9 in total, plus that one Viking.
Now, Mutalisks are coming out, and I believe there are no more Thors left for INnoVation, so his anti-air should be pretty low. And look at the Zerglings. They run all up on those tanks, taking them out.
The surround is good. And he's going to take them all down, so not much left over here for INnoVation except the tanks, as you were talking about. There's 10 back at home.
130 supply here for INnoVation. And it's not like there's a big swell of larvae about to hatch. It is just going to take a long time to reproduce this, but 4 tanks at a time might just be the recipe there. None of this, however, hits air. So these mutas are going to have free reign for the time being.
This is where you should be going into overdrive and saying, make turrets, make Thors. Oh no! And he is making Thors, no turrets though. It looks like there are a couple of turrets left over.
A couple of cheeky tanks. Not cheesy tanks, it's pretty late game now. But yeah, the counterattack here is just going to be devastating. INnoVation has to pull everything back until he's able to remax his force. A couple of Thors on the way at the same time, but maybe INnoVation holds on for now. I believe he is now just about to complete 3-3, or 3-3 should be done, correct?
He's got 3-2.
3-2, so still needs that armor upgrade to come through. But now,
he holds on.
Dark's just going into kind of like Sauron Zerg at this point. He's just taking every base out there on the map, wrapping completely around the left-hand and upper sides, and continuing to maybe shave off a little bit of supply here. Sends the Ultras in, and if he gets a couple of cleave shots on these SCVs. Oh, these SCVs. Oh my god, 12 going down there. Could have been much worse, but some nice harass. Looking for Broodlords coming up.
Broodlord's on the way, and the Muta's coming in. There's not even a turret here. He saw the Mutas, but he has no turret at his very important base.
Valdez, it feels like INnoVation might just be falling a little bit apart here. Very little to deal with these Broodlords as well. He's got a few Thors on the ground, but not much in the air.
Yeah, and 9 Corruptors will support this, so 9 Corruptors, 6 Broodlords against 3 Vikings. I like his chances. He also has the Mutas still left over.
Yeah, he's also like 50 supply above INnoVation. So, I mean, here we go. There's a lot of Hellbats on the back.
The rogue move.
One Ultra.
That could. Yeah. So here we go. He sees the Broodlords, immediately turns tail. He's going back home.
My little ultra, my little ultra. Running in there, taking out a lot. There's cracklings in the supply lines as well. INnoVation down to 23 SCVs, and just this little tiny crackling force doing work in the back.
I think he's done it. I mean, he hasn't won the game just yet, but he's basically
INnoVation
won this game. I mean, this GG. There you go. Dark is going to take the 2-1 victory over INnoVation.
Oh my God, a 2-1 victory. Finally, Dark does it. It is over. The reign of INnoVation has come to an end, just like the reign of that house in game. No, I'm just kidding. And that's going to do it. Wow, INnoVation has to kind of sit back there in his chair and think a little bit, because Dark just really excellently played. He didn't cheese out victories. He didn't get a build order win. He did a great job defending INnoVation in Game 1, counterattack. Game 2, we got to see what it looks like when INnoVation just plays that super solid style. Nothing really that he could do against it. In Game 3, just what a slugfest.
It went all the way, and in the end there, INnoVation, he went for the big push, but Dark, you were talking about Soronzerg, he had already taken his entire side of the map, but the counterattacks was really what was good, and that huge creep spread as well that allowed him to go for the surround eventually to clear up everything after taking out a big chunk of INnoVation's economy. So seems like Dark hasn't figured out, and we are going to hear from him in an interview.
A perfectly timed interview, I might add. Well done there, Valdez. Let's go ahead and hear from our announcer, Hyung-kyung, and find out what Dark thinks about taking out INnoVation. So first off, congratulations, Dark. You've defeated INnoVation. Your former teammate was undefeated coming into tonight. Did you expect to win? Dark said, I really expected it to be very difficult, so I really just focused on playing what I thought was best on those maps.
The builds he had prepared.
Now, talking about that first set, Dark said, I wanted to go with the build I had prepared, but INnoVation was so aggressive that I had to change it up a little bit. Now, they also chatted about some of their strategies. So talking about the Ultras and the Roaches and whatnot. And Dark saying, yeah, we did talk about it, but it's just to try to get in some mind games and fool each other. So Dark's also very indecisive, saying you canceled a lot of your hatcheries or lost them. And Dark's saying, yeah, I did that, but because I feel like when I need to go aggressive, that's all I need to focus on. Now, one of Dark's trademarks is his hive tech in the late game. And Dark says, I think the key to that is to always make sure that you're concentrated, but at the same time, I feel like I'm just born with that control. He's on the right track. So now, lots of people have been asking who's going to stop INnoVation. It turns out that's you. So how far do you think you can go this season, Dark? And Dark says, well, to be honest, speaking of goals, I wanted to go undefeated last season. So this time, I'm just going to take it one step at a time and enjoy myself and see what happens. Well, that's going to do it for our interview, guys. That'll send it to our final game of the night. So Deer versus Classic to close things out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.